Привет, друзья! Всем привет! Меня зовут Крис, and welcome back to Cafe Russian channel, YouTube channel. Today I want to talk to you about this interesting topic, how not to lose your motivation when you learn a new language. And it's a really interesting and very useful, very actual thing to discuss whenever we learn something, and it doesn't matter if it is a language or any type of skill you want to implement into your life. We really need to find a way to make it a part of our everyday routine, to actually practice this knowledge. And sometimes it's easier and more obvious how to do it. Let's say you want to start running, jogging, and if you spend months and months just reading about jogging, you know what style would be better for you, or what shoes you need to use for jogging, or when it is better to do it, or what diet you need to do in order to keep and maintain this activity. But you never run, actually. At one moment you will just find yourself being tired of this endless preparation for a task, for practice you'll never do. And then that's usually a moment where people start losing their motivation, because it's not possible to just endlessly prepare yourself for something that never comes. But with some activities, like language, it can be a little bit less obvious. That's why a lot of people, they spend a lot of time, just learning grammar, mastering vocabulary, just learning endlessly how to say this, when it is appropriate to say that. So they just master these basics of language endlessly, and sometimes they forget the main reason why they started to learn this new skill. Because if you only learn how to, what vocabulary you need to know and what grammar you will need, you are not practicing their language. You are doing this endless preparation. And of course, reasons can be different for every person. But from my personal practice as a tutor, in 90% of cases, people learn Russian because they want to use it, because they want to speak it, for whatever reason you have. Maybe you want to travel to Russia and you know that people here, especially in smaller cities, where you will experience, this immersion into like true Russian history and true Russian vibe. In these small cities, people don't really speak English, sometimes at all, and you might find yourself in a difficult situation if you don't know any Russian. Maybe you are just interested in Russian culture, and you just want to be able to use this new language, or maybe you just want to learn a new language that is different from your own, because it's really useful, it's really good for our brain. It's like our body needs some fitness just to be in a good shape, so our brain needs some mental fitness to be in a good shape. And learning languages, doesn't matter what language, just learning languages in general, it's the basic fitness for our brain, because I wouldn't say the only, but it's one of these rare activities where we use both parts of our brain for that. And it's a really good thing to do. And maybe you are just interested in Russian and you want to have your brain in a good shape, and that's why you learn Russian language. Whatever your reason is, you learn it to speak it, to use it, really. Because only when you use this language, you're actually practicing the language. And sometimes it can be really scary, because you are really stepping away from your comfort zone. Because here you are, an adult, like a successful adult person who has a nice job, nice family, nice life, and here you kind of need to feel to experience this feeling of being a child who is making his first steps, making mistakes. You can't avoid it. You will make mistake. and mistakes, not one, while practicing a new language. And any skill, like take any skill, you will make mistakes. That's how we learn, right? Not possible without these mistakes. It's a process of learning. And you kind of have to step away from your comfort zone and challenge yourself, really. And it's really hard to do. It's really hard to do. And what we can do in order, you know, not to be afraid of this huge activity, because whenever people think about practicing a new language, they think of, you know, like a group of people. All of them are Russians, and you are around them, and they don't know any English, and you are kind of really stressed because you have to talk to them, and if you feel lost, nobody can help you, and then you can be scared, and anyone would. That's a scary situation, to be surrounded by a lot of Russians who don't speak English. Just joking. But what we can do, we can kind of make one step at a time. You don't need to stress yourself, you know, you don't need to go beyond your limits that much from the very beginning. Baby steps, one thing at a time. The first way how you can practice the language in order to keep this motivation, you can have like a Russian diary. And what I recommend, make it an audio diary. At the end of every day, say maybe 5-10 sentences in Russian about your day. And try to use vocabulary you are currently learning or grammar construction in your sentences. And the next day, you can listen to your, you know, like previous day audio diary, listen yourself speaking Russian, and try, you know, be comfortable and teach yourself to be comfortable with this situation. Find this feeling when you speak Russian and you are not stressed because of it. It's like it stops being something very exotic, like an exotic activity, you speaking Russian, something you even can't imagine. But little by little, you are training your brain and you are training yourself that there is nothing extraordinary about it. Little by little, you learn that there is nothing scary about it. You can make a mistake, but then you can notice it, and next time you will not make this mistake. For example, you feel kind of, you know, uncertain how to use this word, but next time you feel more comfortable how to use this word. So make it maybe not your daily practice, but maybe every other day, just speak Russian to yourself. Now it sounds strange. Don't say it to your psychotherapist if you have one that you're talking to yourself. But if you see something beautiful, maybe try to make a few sentences about it in Russian. Maybe like, you know, in your brain, just silently to yourself, or maybe you can write it down or make like an audio file, maybe like a little audio about it that then you can come back and listen to. The second way, you can try to find like a speaking partner, maybe like a Russian person who's learning English. But here, guys, here is one very important thing that you have to keep in mind. There are a lot of apps like this. For example, what apps you can use? You can use Tandem or HelloTalk. But remember that these people, they are not teachers. They are not tutors. They are just native speakers. For example, if I ask you, what is the difference between I bought and I have bought? You know, when can I use what? Sometimes for a native speaker who is not a teacher, it's not possible to explain why we say it. They can let you know what is correct, what is not correct, but they don't know why, most of the times. And sometimes they don't know, you know, where really, how to start your conversation. Here you are, just, come on, like, teach me some Russian, like, let's have some language exchange. You feel at lost, you don't know where to start. Language is such a huge topic, and you don't know from what to start. So try to prepare maybe something in advance. Let's say you are learning these days a word tree, which is in Russian дерево. And I chose this simply because there is a park opposites me right now. I can see it through my window, and there are a lot of beautiful trees. So let's say tree. You're learning a word tree, дерево. Just say it in advance to your language partner that you are learning these words. And for example, that I know only very basic Russian sentences. And let's speak about trees, but only in a very, very basic sentences. And you can make some examples of sentences that you can make using this word tree. Just, to show your speaking partner their level that you have. And also you can ask your partner to correct you only if you make a mistake and it's not quite clear what you want to say. Because sometimes native speakers who are not teachers, they can start correcting every mistake you make. Like every mistake you make, they start correcting you, and it's not necessary. Because when you start speaking, of course you speak in a very basic level. Of course you can make some mistakes, but the main idea here is not for you to be perfect. You can't be perfect using a new language when you are just starting to learn it. Even me, I feel kind of comfortable using English. I can watch English movies, I can read books in English, I can speak English, obviously, but I'm sure you've noticed I make mistakes, like English mistakes too, sometimes, but I can still communicate with you, right, guys? And you have no troubles understanding me. And that's how you start. First, you make a lot of mistakes, but people still understand you. And then you feel inspired seeing that, oh my God, people understand what I'm saying and I understand what they say. And little by little, you work on the amount of knowledge you have, and your speech becoming more clear, more correct, more fluent. And little by little, your speech is becoming more and more perfect. And one day you will speak fluently. That's how it works. It never works like, okay, today I don't know anything and tomorrow I'm fluent. It's not possible. Well, maybe it is possible sometimes, but I've never heard about anything like that. And that is how you can work on the next level. So the first step, you can basically keep this audio diary, like Russian audio diary, just to get comfortable with you speaking Russian, get comfortable with hearing yourself using Russian, and practicing, of course. Next step, you can find a person who is interested in learning English, and you can have this language exchange experience. But remember, guys, that this person is not really a teacher. He's just a regular Russian person who doesn't really maybe know why we use this grammar or what is the best teaching technique. He is just the basic person who wants to speak English. That's why maybe you have to express more initiative in order to make your meetings more productive. For both of you, you will help yourself, and also you can help the other person, because the other person will maybe use your own technique in order to increase his English level. So you will help two people with this technique. That's nice for your karma, right? So what you can do next? What can be the next step for you? The next step would be to maybe to find a group of people, to find a community where you can practice Russian. And it can be like online live meetings, because with your speaking partner, with language speaking partner, it can be texting, it can be audio messages, or it can be live meetings on Skype, on Zoom, with a group of people with group with the same interest. Usually it's more beneficial if it is a live online live meeting or offline live meeting, and you can find a community in your city. I'm sure that it exists and you just need to find it. You can use Meetup. It's another app where you can see what meetings are organized in your neighborhood and try to find some Russian communities there, or you can try to find Russian communities online. there are a lot of possibilities for that. And so next step for you would be to speak to a variety of different people using Russian. And they can be Russian speakers, they can be native Russian people, or they can be other learners that basically learn Russian like you. It can be a variety of different people. And that will really help you to reach the next level where you are not only comfortable speaking Russian when there is nobody around, or you are comfortable speaking Russian only with one single person, and that's all. Little by little, you teach yourself that you can use Russian with anyone. Anyone can be your speaking partner. If it is possible for you, it would be very, very nice and beneficial to go to Russia and experience the country and the culture here, and have this little experience of when you are surrounded by all these Russian things, all the signs around you are in Russian. Even small things like going to their supermarkets can be your way of practicing Russian, or buying a ticket on the train, like railway station, also can be like your practice of using and practicing Russian. Everything basically becomes a chance for practicing your Russian skills. And finally, what is the final stage here? So the final advice or the final tip that I can offer you in order to keep motivation going, and you can incorporate this advice at any stage, starting from the very beginning to the very advanced, when you already have your experience of using Russian, and maybe you have already been to Russia and you have experienced that, or maybe you haven't even tried your audio diary yet. So their next advice is it's really finding a tutor that can help you, and not only me. It's not like self-advertisement, anyone. And what I recommend you guys, try several tutors. Don't, find one person, and even if maybe you are not satisfied with everything in his or her teaching technique, you're like, oh, all right, I have already found one teacher, I will go with this person. Try several tutors, because every person has his or her own style, experience, vision, and it may reflect with your own ideas and with your personality, or it may not. And it doesn't really mean that this teacher is bad, or that this teacher doesn't know anything about teaching. It's just maybe his style or her style is not for you. Maybe it doesn't resonate with you personally, and that's absolutely fine as well. Just find a tutor with who you feel this resonation going, and that will really benefit your experience of learning Russian. And why I recommend finding a tutor, because a lot of people, they want to practice by themselves. It's really a skill to be a teacher, like there is a skill to be a doctor, there is a skill to be a musician, there is a skill to be a good engineer or programmer, whatever. And people who take teaching really seriously, they have been mastering this, not only understanding of the language they are teaching, but also a way how to teach, and how to really help people to open their skills and to open this experience for them, and how to support them properly. It's really a skill, and it's never-ending way of becoming better in it. And if, for example, you are not a professional teacher, it can be hard, because when you teach yourself, you have to be a professional teacher for yourself. And sometimes you might be using a technique that isn't really good for teaching. It's like, maybe just doing a lot of exercises from the textbook. That's how we should educate ourselves. Maybe it's technique taking from old style, school education methods. And in schools, sometimes educational methods, to be honest, guys, it's not that good. Trust me. That's why I don't really like teaching at schools. Had this experience, didn't enjoy it, decided to be a tutor. But when people just really don't really know how to teach, they take techniques that at least they know they exist, and they implement these techniques in self-studying, and it's not that beneficial, and you can kill your motivation using the wrong technique. That's why I wouldn't say, that's a tip for everyone. I'm sure there are people who are excellent teachers for themselves and they don't need a tutor. But I'm also sure that there are a lot of people who are trying to teach themselves, and it's really hard. And you feel that you don't know where to start, and you overwhelm yourself, and you start feeling that that's too hard, that's not fun at all. And that is where a good teacher can really help you. Again, the teacher whose style resonates with your personality. And if it is an expensive experience, or for any other reasons, you don't have a lot of time to dedicate to having lessons with a tutor, you can always customize this. You can, for example, maybe have one meeting per 2 weeks, or maybe one meeting per month, or maybe if it is like an hour session, you can part it into parts and have 2 30-minute meetings. You can always customize your experience with a tutor in order to make it more suitable for you. And remember, guys, that if you just don't want to dedicate a lot of time and a lot of finances into having one-on-one meetings, you can always try group meetings. Always cheaper, and always, again, you can find this feeling of community. It's not like you and teacher having one-on-one meeting. That's definitely beneficial, but group meetings, they have their own benefits, because we are all social creatures and we do need supporting environments for whatever we do, for all aspects of our lives. And having these group meetings, super beneficial for that. So you can feel as a part of a nice, welcoming, friendly community of people who are interested in the same topic as you are, and who are struggling with the same problems that you are struggling with. And that's funny, but that's also very beneficial to see, not to see how other people struggle, but just to know that they are going and they are coming through the same difficulties as you are. Also very supportive, and that's very beneficial for the motivation. So that is it. That is it. And of course, there are a lot of different techniques in how to open in yourself this speaking skill, but that's the whole new world to discuss. And if you have managed it from the whole video till that moment, you are my heroes. Thank you so much for listening to me talking on this topic. I hope it was interesting and useful. And if you want to open this speaking skill, if you don't really know a lot about grammar, Russian grammar, or if you know something but you have never really practiced speaking Russian, so you feel that you are a very, very beginner in a speaking skill, because through my practice I've met a lot of people with different situations, and I've met students who would be brilliant in tests. For example, if I would give them like a test, it would be excellent. But when they speak, they feel really stressed, and they can't really use this knowledge that they have in the speaking world. Sometimes it was different, not usually though, that people would be brilliant at talking, but give him or her a test, and that would be a struggle for them. Usually it's the other way around. So if you guys would like to open this world of speaking Russian finally, whatever your situation is, and if you feel that the time has come, and if you feel that I'm a teacher with who you would like to give a try to this new skill to open in you, I would be very honored and I would be really flattered, and I promise I will do my best for that. And we are having a group that is starting very soon, August 22nd, on Sunday. It will be a course with only 8 participants in it. It will be live meetings on Zoom, and the whole course will be dedicated to bringing you from I can't speak Russian to okay, I know I'm making mistakes, but I'm speaking. I'm not promising you that you will become fluent in 1 month. Again, I wouldn't say it's not possible, but of course it's really hard, and it will take a lot of you self-studying. But we will try, and I will do my best. We will get rid of the speaking barrier, because we will practice a lot. You will practice with me one-on-one, you will practice with other participants, and you will be surrounded by this supporting bubble. So if you'd like to join us and start speaking Russian already this weekend, I know it might sound scary, but that's also super exciting. It's always exciting to push yourself to do something new. Like last weekend, I went paddling in a canoe. I'm not sure how to say it correctly in English, but it was like raining like hell. I don't know. It was cold and it was raining and it was out of my comfort zone. And I was really angry at some points of this experience. But you know, when I really decided, when I started accepting the reality, like, okay, I'm here and let's start having fun from this experience. It turned out to be a really nice experience, and now I'm thinking about it with, like, I'm really happy that it happened to me. And even though the whole my body is in pain today after paddling for like 5 hours, it was super fun, and that was super exciting, like paddling along the river in a storm with a thunderstorm, with lightning and thunder all around you. That was something to remember. And I will remember it forever, I'm sure. So if you would like to push yourself a little bit out from the comfort zone and have this amazing feeling of achieving something cool, I would be really happy to see you in our groups. Somewhere here, you can find the link to one video where I speak in details about this course. But in the nutshell, it's going to be 4 weeks, 2 meetings every week. Every meeting is 2.5 hours. The cost is $75, and you will have a lot of materials for repeating and self-practicing between the meetings, and we'll have a lot of fun and you will start speaking Russian. Right, guys, thank you so much for watching and see you soon. До скорого. Пока-пока.